Yeah.
Hey.
What's up? Bing, bing, bam, boom.
Back at it.
Episode 20.
Chokes and consciousness.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah. Dang it. I was just like thinking about this too. Like, it wasn't lost on me until just now, but it was kind of, I guess it was a little bit. But here we are. We're recording on December 1st, and this is our 20th episode. I mean,
Dang.
look at
Yeah.
that lining up in that kind of way.
Yeah, that is pretty nice. And the new moon.
New moon, we're going to talk about that, what that signifies, what we're getting into. We have now transitioned out of the season of Scorpio, and we are now in Sagittarius. What's up,
Yeah, that went
Sagittarians?
by pretty quick. Scorpios.
Hearing on, it was like here, and then it was like, we out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it didn't help having Thanksgiving the last week of November versus the third week.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. November just flew by. At least for me, it flew by.
Same. And then the end of we got 31 more days, and 2024 is no
Mm,
more.
damn.
Yeah. So we're going to definitely have like a little recap of the year at some point in time before we get done. But that's not for episode 20 today. We have some fun stuff,
Yeah.
holding true to our consciousness alter ego.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. To dive into the consciousness.
I hope y'all are ready because we're staying out here and we're not letting our foot off the gas. So get your thinking caps on.
Yeah, I gotta put mine on too.
Yeah, it does actually kind of help me out because Emily and I just got done watching the first Matrix.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, she had only seen like part of it, but never like really watched the first or the like in completion the first one. So she's never seen
Mm-hmm.
the second or third one. I've seen all three plus the bonus fourth, which nobody really talks about because it really wasn't that great. They just needed to keep that one out of the collection. But the trilogy I've seen multiple times, but obviously re-examining and re-experiencing in a different way because of where I'm at in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, is the second and third one worth watching?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
You have to watch all of them.
All right.
They all align. Have you seen the set? Have you seen them?
I think I've seen parts of the second, but I haven't watched it fully through, just the first one.
You have to watch all of them fully through because they all align. It's everything we've been talking about.
All right, dang. Oh, I'll
Mhm.
watch that and I'll just be on one for the next week,
Hey,
just nonstop thinking though.
you will. You'd be like, dang,
Like, oh,
I
we're in
didn't
a
even know.
simulation.
We are. Oh, dang, you had to be reborn.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Then the paradox of to in order to like gain control, you have to let go.
Hmm. Damn.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right. Would you let go to look beyond and see like the real you?
Well, here's the crazy. I definitely would take the red pill,
Yeah.
100. And I think I would be exactly how he was right at the beginning when he found out, like, oh, this is what we're doing right now. This is freaky. Like when they were in the construct and Morpheus was like, this is our loading zone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about what you think, it's about what you know. And then he was like, this is what you thought you knew in the real world, but this is exactly what it actually looks like. I probably would have had a panic attack and been like, reverse Uno. I don't know if I want to take the blue pill, but can I just take a second to process
Mm-hmm.
or we just dive in?
Yeah, I'd probably freak out too. I'd probably freak out a lot, not gonna lie.
Yeah, and I was like, you're opening my mind to think, so I would think that I'm ready, but there's a difference
Oh
between
yeah.
thinking and knowing, and they really hone in on that part. In the first, we're not doing any spoiler alert. If you haven't seen The Matrixes that by this time, the first one came out in '99. Sorry
Yeah.
about it, y'all. Like it is what it is. But in the first one, right, in the fighting scene, I know you remember this, and like Neo's fighting Morpheus, and he's just like Morpheus gets a lick on him, and then Keanu's out here breathing all hard, and he's like, "You're just too fast," you know. And then Morpheus is like, "Do you think that's air that you're breathing?
Mm,
Do you think I'm too fast, or do you know I'm too fast?" Basically,
yeah.
like, don't believe what you think. And so then all of a sudden, Neo was like, "Bet," and then he started believing that he could match or be faster than Morpheus, and then
Dang.
that's when he had the breakthrough.
So they were even manifesting
Yeah,
after taking the
100%
red
manifest.
pill. No, life
Yeah,
is weird. Life is
yeah,
too weird.
it is. Well, Neo had to his ego had to be stripped, right? Ego
Mm-hmm.
death to be reborn.
Mm-hmm. That'd be a tough one. to let
It will.
to let go like that.
You have to let go in order to flow.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So, fun conversation that we're going to be having for our topic of the week and then talk. But dang, episode 20. I mean, how many weeks is that? I mean, 20 weeks,
20
but like
weeks?
how many months?
Yeah, when did we start?
I think our first
20
episode
weeks ago.
it was about like Olympic time, right? So it would have been
Yeah,
July, August time, I
I'm
believe.
counting the weeks.
It definitely had to be like the last of January or July, beginning of August.
Yeah, the middle of July.
And here we are,
Damn.
special episode 20, have not missed a week yet.
I don't know. That's just
You feeling real
exciting.
prideful over there, I know.
Yeah.
I feel your excitement through that smile that you were just giving.
Yeah. I don't have words, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's pretty
But if y'all
exciting.
saw, if you're watching, or if you're listening, it just lets you know that like you should be able to feel Michaela's energy through your ear speakers and or screen.
Yeah, I hope my energy's flowing through.
It can't not.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome to think about though. Like, hey, my energy's like flowing through everybody, like through the Wi-Fi, through the air, getting to everybody.
It is. And what's your frequency? What are you vibrate? Are we having high vibrations, high frequency, which is where we want to be? Or is your frequency low? You're operating on low vibrations, therefore perpetuating disconnection. Where are you at? Are you going to be the matrix and plugged in?
My frequencies are medium high.
Medium high. Chakras, align
Yeah.
them.
Do you feel aligned today?
I think I have been feeling aligned over the last like couple months, to be
Oh,
honest with you,
sweet.
even though there's been like little, obviously
Mm-hmm.
steady ups and downs as life is. Internally, there's been peace, continuing my manifestation. Yes, we have missed a couple days here and there, but
Same.
the intent, right? The intent stays true. And when I do remember, we do say and we feel.
Mm-hmm. I remember at random times of the day. I'm like, oh, I forgot. So then I'll
That's a
say it
good
real
thing.
quick. Yeah.
It means it's in your awareness now
Mm-hmm.
enough to be like, it hasn't been 5 days and you're like, damn, I haven't manifested in 5 days. It's usually within that day, you're like, dang, I didn't manifest it all today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did we explain to the people what we're doing? Manifesting?
I don't think we did. I think, I think we just
Oops.
said this is what we were going to be doing. Well, I think maybe we alluded to it. So, and
Mm-hmm.
basically what Michaela and I are doing, manifestation, law of attraction, um, increasing your frequencies, all of the above. The Tesla, which fitting for our quote at the end of this episode, as you always know, we have a quote for you. We are doing the Tesla 369 method, super simplified. Go ahead and look up everything you want to look up if you want an extensive, like, laundry list of what exactly that means, the whole paper, whatever. Basically, what it means is you manifest your affirmations, but what that is, 3 times, it can be in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times at night before you go to bed. And don't just get actually necessarily like hung up. Because I think I was getting hung up on the first week of, oh my gosh, I missed the morning. Technically, time is a construct. It's more so about getting the sequence in. And essentially, it's important, like toward the end, to make sure you're doing it right before you go to bed. So that's kind of what you're downloading in your subconscious.
Yeah, I tend to do it more in the nighttime than like throughout my day because I just don't think about it during the day. But in the evening, that's when I'm like, oh, I didn't do it.
Yeah. Same. I tend to do a little better in the mornings, right when I get up, boom, in the mirror, look at myself,
Oh,
have that
dang.
little time to yourself,
In the mirror.
brushing your teeth, because you got to feel it. You got to
Yeah.
look at you
Dang.
saying it, and then you got to feel it.
All right. That's a deeper level than what I was doing. I was just
That's
whispering it to myself when I thought about it.
still effective, in addition to throw a couple of those sequences in the mirror.
All right.
So then when you're saying it, to yourself, whispering it, then you're also visualizing yourself in the mirror while you're saying it.
All right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not, so it's like more of a connection to self, because you're like, oh, I see myself doing this, not just I hear myself saying it. And this is, again, bringing everything together again, what we'll be talking about. Believing, experiencing.
It's all connected.
It is. I'm happy to hear, like, outside of forgetting, was that easy for you to come up with some affirmations? Did you have to think really hard, or did it just, you already knew where you wanted to go with it?
No, I already know. I usually know. I have like 10 things I'm trying to achieve all the time. So
Damn.
I already have things in my mind.
We love to hear it. I mean, does it like circulate?
It kind of circulates, but I mean, there's like 3 main things I'm like focused towards, and then there's a bunch of little subcategories that branch off of that.
You're consistent.
Yeah. I might cycle through everything like off and on, but I'm consistently doing that. So I guess I'm consistent.
Yeah, that's part of the manifestation. Consistent feeling. Don't knock yourself off of your routine necessarily. The message stays the same. The content stays the same, even if the wording changes a little.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you?
It came pretty easy. I didn't have to think too much. I didn't just want like one that was a one size fits all. I wanted to at least have something that was more specific. So I have 3 sayings.
Oh, sweet. I got 3 too.
All right, nice. And when I first did it, the first couple of days, I kept fumbling, right? It wasn't automatic. And then after like a week, it was just like boom, 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 boom,
nice.
boom, boom.
Yeah, can you feel a difference? Like a change in anything like from saying this or manifesting?
I think so. I think I can feel a subtle change, just maybe whether it's a placebo effect or not. It doesn't necessarily matter. I think it's helping me more with acceptance in certain things, like, again, like just the natural ebbs and flows of stress, or certain, you get towards the end of the year, things get a little more stressful. Acknowledging as such, not invalidating, but accepting this is what it is, and everything always gets better. What am I doing to continue to make things better for self and others around me? And it's not just going to happen with hands in the buns on each other. So you got to get yourself up, moving, which means manifestation, action, energy.
I All right.
So I think I am feeling it. What about you?
Yeah. I don't know if I can tell yet, but I don't know. I've been feeling pretty good the past couple of weeks, so that might be tied to that or might not, but
Hey, keep that in mind for the topic and then, because it's going to be like, oh, again, I know.
mm-hmm.
So even in the ebbs and flows, the different change of flow direction, the pathway still remains the same. I'm going to get there regardless.
Yeah, you're right.
Even when you don't like, that's why I was like, I don't know, but maybe more acceptance of like, even in the shitty days or the days I just want to be petty, you know, and go back to old patterns, not necessarily staying there, but acknowledging it and understanding that that doesn't mean that you're regressing just because you can't maybe see or feel the huge jump.
Yeah, no, I bet in a few weeks we'll see something. We'll feel something. There'll be change. There's always change, but I think we'll be able to notice it the further we get into it.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Yeah, and I bet we make things happen. Just saying, 2025, it's coming.
Right around the corner. I'm always a person that says, you know, obviously we'll have a saying, we'll have a word, I still have to think about that. I don't do New Year's resolutions. My firm belief, no hate if y'all do, and I'm always gonna be a cheerleader for that. My philosophy is you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. So pick some things to highlight on, maybe pick up some things you want to focus on, but the train continues to go.
Yeah, I always like having just goals for the year and seeing like where I end up at the end of the year, if I like reach them or get close to them. But I mean, it's just fun.
Yeah.
And it's just
Well,
fun.
but it's something that you're building on, right? It's not
Yeah.
something that you steam out on after 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's like a yearly goal, a continuously yearly goal, or continuous yearly goal. Yeah, we'll see. Thought 2024 would be the year, but I think there's a lot of growth this year. So now I'm like 2025, it's coming.
Hey, and when you take some time to sit about everything that has transpired in this 2024 year, there will be a lot of things where you're like, well, this couldn't have happened unless this happened. But I didn't know at that time.
Yeah, I love that. That's like one of my favorite things is you figure out the reason for something happening like a year or so ago. And at the time, you're like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
But then years later, you figure out, hey, there's a reason for that.
Always. It's like sometimes when, you know, my peeps, they'll tell me, oh, that's why you said that to me months ago.
Yeah.
Just got to plant those seeds. I'm not just out here speaking.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Because you were like, hey, I knew this. I knew this all along.
I already knew this. You had to get defensive. You had to go through multiple cycles of this before it was like, oh, this was why this was mentioned.
Yeah, dang. I wonder how many steps ahead you are, like at all times.
Okay. Solid association. It's like jujitsu, like we were talking about with Nikki.
Dang. So you're probably so far ahead.
Because you can see themes, right?
Yeah.
You tend to point out themes. You can see certain things are writing on the wall pertaining to said individual person, setting, culture, all of that. And so with jujitsu, white belts come in. They, even though you're telling them a move or telling them, hey, try X, Y, and Z, or don't do this because this will happen, they still are inherently not going to understand and be like, well, why did they say it was important to, like, why is it important to drill? Why are we drilling this? Why are we drilling doing warm-ups? And then months later, maybe they realize that their arm bar's trash, too much space. Oh, this is way tighter on a person that's 70 pounds lighter than this other person. Ding, ding, ding. Angles. Angles and tightness, it comes with drilling. Oh shit. That's why they said this is important.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
Yeah. So you're just always I'm trying to relate that to like thinking though, because I feel like
because you recognize stuff. Like I said, you start to recognize patterns, so it becomes automatic, and so you just read it sooner.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, pattern recognition. Yeah, and I bet you see a ton of that in people. Oh, that's so wild.
Like at the end of the day, people are going to people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to say people necessarily are a monolith, right? It was a one size fits all. We come from very different backgrounds, family, like I said, so it's more so about like, kind of here's this generalization of people, humanity. And then how does that intersect with this individual person and their individual patterns?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, okay, I can see this has happened 15 times, and these have been the things that have been the impact or have been impacted or is what's happened. So then I can like see, here's this pattern and this thing and be able to pick it out. But just like people, we can go work out, go to the gym, and you don't necessarily notice your body difference or how you're changing. You might be able to feel it in clothes, kind of, right? Not off the bat, but then if you haven't seen somebody in months or somebody hasn't seen you, they're like, wow, oh, dang, you've been working out or whatever. And you're like, I don't notice any kind of difference because I'm with me all the
time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's my mom. Every time I go home. It's like, all right, Mom.
Does she tell you how like buff you look?
Yeah, either that or like, oh, you look skinny, or oh, I don't know, just
dang,
whatever.
She's like, stop eating them egg sandwiches for dinner.
I know. You're right. I'm going to start cooking this week.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm just going to make chili, throw it in the crock pot.
Solid start. We need to bump up you need to have like a standard recipe list and then slowly add on to it. Like, these are my standards for the week if I'm going to make some stuff. Sprinkle some fast food in there because I know you got to have your little fast food like tooth. But like chili, right? That's a staple. But you're not necessarily going to make that all the time. But that's a classic for you. Yeah. It's like, I bet you can make a decent burger.
Probably. I need to work on
it. We can build on this.
Yeah, you're right. I do need to make it like a food plan so that way I'm more consistent and eating a little better.
Start small.
Yeah.
Start small.
I know, but I just start too small, and that's why I'm with my egg sandwiches.
Okay, so do you eat the same thing for breakfast or lunch every day, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
You don't have to switch that up.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
All right, it's not that complicated, but my time is where I'm like struggling right now because I get off of jujitsu at like 9. I get home at 9:30, so I need to like meal prep is what I need to do.
That's hard. I struggle with that.
Yeah. I just need to do it. Something simple, like chicken, rice, good chicken and rice with some veggies or something.
Well, see, then here's what you got to do. I was thinking about this. So you usually have some time in the morning, right? Or that's when you cook. That's your meal prep.
Yeah.
Because now you already know what you're going to eat for breakfast and lunch. I'm just cooking my dinner in the morning. So when I get out of jujitsu at 9, just got to heat it up.
Yeah, I need to do that.
I throw this out there because I was in the same situation when I was like in my doc program in Minnesota because my time was so weird. So I'd have like my GA stuff starting at 8 or 9 in the morning. And then I'd be on campus until 4 o'clock. Yeah. And then I'd run home, let the Zoe out. And then I'd usually have class 3 out of those 5 days a week from 6 to 9. So it was like, and if I didn't, right, then I was at jujitsu. like when I could fit it in. But then those days that like maybe I didn't have to GA in the morning or I had like a few hours in the afternoon, that would be typically when I would like make big stuff so I could just.
Dang, that's a busy schedule.
It was. We did it though.
Yeah. All right. I guess if you can do all that, I can.
You got it. You gotta
I
want
can
to
cook
do
some
it.
dinner. Yeah, you're right. I just gotta cook better because I feel like if I had better meals, then I'd be more excited to make those meals.
It really does translate over to excitement. See, that's my motivation for cooking. One, I just like to cook, but I'm going to be upset if I'm eating and it's not good. Because, like, okay, yeah, nutrition, I've met that goal for the day. And I'm just mad because none of it tasted good.
Yeah, I call those unsatisfying meals. Like the egg sandwiches, just anything egg. It's usually just kind of plain and boring.
See? That's what I'm saying. Then I'm just going to be mad. Not even happy. I can't even eat when I'm not happy. Let somebody piss me off or put me in an irritable mood right before I'm about to eat, and then I'm even more upset because now I can't eat it. You've ruined my entire experience, and you've now taken nutrition away from me. Now I can't eat.
Yeah, I do feel that. I don't like eating when I'm mad either, or I just don't feel the need. If I'm
Exactly.
mad.
Exactly. Like that should be, you're negatively impacting my health at that point. I'm at a calorie deficit because you've taken my joy away. And now the joy that I was supposed to get from this food, I'm no longer going to get because you sucked it out of me.
And now you're hangry.
Hangry. Now I'm just like, nothing sounds good.
Yeah. I'll try not to piss you off so you can eat your food.
It just be like that sometimes, you know. That's why I be writing reviews sometimes. Because I'm like, I told you, I've been that person. I'll own it.
I've done it too.
Yeah. Mickey D's, when I do go to Mickey, like, on rare occasion, Egg McMuffin from Lundy the breakfast, or Nuggies. I'm about the Nuggies, but you can't forget the sauce. And I don't want to be that person in the drive-thru that's checking my bag while everybody else is waiting. Because I ask you sauce in the bag. You're like, "Yup, I'm trusting that you've done what you were supposed to do and what you just told me that you did." So when I leave and go home to open the bag to no sauce, not even one.
You need to check it. I always check the bag.
Now I check it every time. I will be that person that's just gonna wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I always check the bag. Just never
always
know.
Check the bag. You never do. You never do.
Yeah.
Don't forget sweet, especially the sweet and sour sauce. Mickey D's sweet and sour sauce.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't eat nuggets without sauce, so that's kind of
right. And they charge you now for extra sauce.
Really? McDonald's does?
Yeah, like you get your standard 1 or 2 depending on the quantity of nuggets that you ordered. Any additional sauce though after that, I think it's like 15 or 20 cents.
Dang. I remember working for Papa John's and they would charge people extra. But I'd just throw extra in their boxes because it's so dumb. Like, hey, it's just
for the garlic sauce or Dang, why did I forget? I didn't know you worked at Papa John's. I worked at Papa John's too.
Yeah.
Dang. I was a delivery driver.
Yeah, that's what I did for a summer.
I would get in trouble sometimes from the customers because I had subs. And so I was like, I just be
oh, that's funny.
rolling up with the pizza, big vibing.
Nice. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I did. I was a delivery driver for Papa John's and Jimmy John's.
Dang.
Jimmy John's was actually kind of lit because I was the delivery driver usually for the bar shift. And so obviously we're the only Jimmy John's in Emporia. So, and I knew a lot of the people because Emporia is not that big in college.
Yeah.
So let's just say you girl had a good time dropping off sandwiches, tipped well, tipped in all kinds of different ways.
That's awesome. Bet you were whipping it too, delivering as fast as you could.
We were out here in these Emporia streets.
Oh, that's so funny with your subs. Dang, you were vibing. I wasn't
really
vibing.
was.
I was just stressed out trying to figure out where I was going.
I wasn't vibing at all. I was just stressed. Was this when you had, I don't know how people, okay, I'm gonna take that back because I was just talking about, I don't remember the last time I used a payphone. I'm just like, damn, we used to really have numbers memorized. And I was thinking how difficult it would be to be a delivery driver in the absence of navigation outside of a map.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're never getting your food.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd get too lost. I was lost even with my phone. I would have to
be fair. Some addresses though are not. It's not the true address of the GPS.
Yeah. Yeah, and that happened to me. I would have to call them and be like, "Hey, where are you?" Like my address is not taking me where it needs to.
Yeah, but I would much rather be a delivery driver than in store.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Did you ever get to make pizzas?
I did. I never did you had to be specially trained to do the dough and everything. But I was out here on the toppings though. Wasn't gonna get, no red sauce, no sauce can be seen. Evenly covered.
Yeah. That'd be fun making pizzas like with our friends, just working in a pizza shop, just throwing dough around, putting toppings on.
Oh yeah. We might not get anything done, to be honest with you.
I bet we'd have some good pizzas.
Yeah. Cheese sticks, I'd tear them up too. The cheese sticks were good. I'd always go home with some cheese. That's the dangerous part.
Yeah.
Because I think, what was the discount? Half off or something?
I don't know. I just took home whatever was left over for the night. So I'd be taking pizzas home.
Dang. Every day, all day.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'd take like the ones that were messed up that were still warm, or because it was half off, or a thing of cheese sticks and some wings, because I was on some wings.
When I worked there, I didn't know wing sauces because I just didn't know at the time. So and the word would rub off of the bottle of the flavoring. So I messed up so many wings. I found out later, I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was barbecue, honey barbecue, but something I did not know what was what, and I messed up a lot of orders, but nobody complained, so I think I'm all right.
Hey, they still ate the wings, whatever. How was I supposed to know if the lettering comes off?
Yeah. I didn't know my sauces back then.
Now you got the sauce, so you know all the sauce. Exactly. So, as we always do, because we're always shooting, reel us back in, shooting from the hip. On the first recording, our 20th episode, but recapping, going back, because our last episode, we hit y'all before Thanksgiving. We gave you all something to listen to on your way to whatever you were going to be doing Thursday and Friday and over the weekend. So overall, Michaela, how was the remainder of your week? How was the day off, Thanksgiving, whatever you do Thursday and Friday with the fam?
That's
all
good.
That good stuff.
Yeah, I had a good time. I went and saw my family. It was pretty good. Spent some time with my parents, my younger brother, my younger sister. Saw my grandpa, my grandma, Jeff's family. Saw a lot of family, but they were smaller Thanksgivings than they have been in the past, so it wasn't too overwhelming.
Yeah.
It was just
did you like that better?
Yeah, kind of, because then I could see like two different families and it didn't feel overwhelming. Like I felt like that was the perfect amount of people. Because usually when it's my whole family and then Jeff's whole family, it's a lot of people. Like it's a lot of people to see and talk to. But this was a good week. It was nice.
Yeah. So was like everyone, like people just kind of doing their own things, or was it like just the bigger crowd decided to break it up into smaller crowds?
I think everybody was just doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure why so many were missing, but I have a ton of little cousins, and they're loud. They're crazy.
Yeah.
They're like little like minions, like legit minions. I saw one of them yesterday, and we were eating lunch, and in out of nowhere, he just goes bah! Like as loud as he can. He's like, "That's what minions say," and then he did it again.
He
But
wasn't wrong.
just that crazy energy. But there's a lot of them, so they weren't there at like the main Thanksgiving, so it was pretty chill.
Yeah.
I
That is
miss them though.
yeah, I wonder if that's like a thing because I noticed that like at one point in time, like because our family we used to do like a big Thanksgiving or in a big like Christmas and everything where like the whole family on one side would get together at like my great grandma's house or
Mm-hmm.
like somebody was hosting Thanksgiving, but then like all the like the older family, the aunts and uncles, then like all my cousins, right? Like we would all be in one spot. But then as we got older and more smaller cousins started being born, or like cousins, right? Like the little cousins and the big cousins, they started breaking off and doing kind of like their own thing. So, and then,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, once my great grandma didn't have her house anymore, transition of smaller living, we don't get together as a huge family like we used to. I mean, it was a lot. I mean, that was like an all day, both for Thanksgiving and Christmas. But it is kind of something that was like a weird transition when I was getting older because it, like, I liked it, but it was also like, dang,
Mm-hmm.
like, I miss seeing the rest of you all here too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Sam. Liked it, but I miss everybody I didn't see. So
Mhm.
hopefully I see them around Christmas time.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. If it's big around Christmas, it'll be wild.
Get
But
prepared.
it's fun though.
Hey, you got to appreciate that stuff. You don't get it very often, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was nice. Like I do feel like rejuvenated in a way from seeing family. Like I feel extra creative now that I'm back.
Oh,
I'm like,
snap.
oh, that's wild. I wonder if there's a correlation there just from being around family. If it gets something flowing.
But maybe you feel more grounded, like energized in that grounding because you saw your peeps and
Mm-hmm.
connected with them.
Maybe. Yeah, I had to go to work, but I wanted to just make stuff. I'm like, oh, I want to be home making things.
Then did you write down your ideas or you just
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
go into
Yeah, I brainstormed all day at work.
dang,
Yeah.
we'd love
How,
to hear it.
how was your week?
Wasn't too bad, you know. I would say it was like the end of November and the week before, but definitely the end of November. We were spoiled this whole time thus far, and at least this whole fall, it hasn't been too cold, and then the weather transitioning to cold and rainy kind of made it wasn't a long week. It was just kind of like a different week, and then obviously you had Thanksgiving Thursday and
Hmm.
so it was decent, but also felt maybe a little lazy at times, but then like trying to fit stuff in before, Thursday and Friday. And I always feel weird, even though I don't take very many days off necessarily. Like I said, I have kind of like my gaps throughout the days. So it's kind of like a day off, even if I have like one or two appointments. It's not
Hmm.
all day. But if I don't have anything, like if I'm not working with, yes, take days off. I also feel I've noticed as I've gotten older, I feel awkward that I should be doing something. So
Mm.
it kind of throws me off. So I was feeling a little restless on
Yeah.
Friday. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was all right. And I went to jujitsu. So hit up the new spot. We're officially moved, as we said last week. So I went Monday through Wednesday, smaller
Hmm.
classes, but still decent. And then I didn't go Friday for the post Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving I went to Warrensburg with Emily's family, and that was nice. I didn't get my mac and cheese, and that's okay. Emily was gonna try to get me some mac and cheese on Friday. I was like, it's all right.
Yeah.
Like, let me
Aw.
just let me sit with that for a hot second. my soul shuddered a little bit. Like when she confirmed that to me, I was like, it was like my brain was understanding it, but my body was rejecting it because it was like, no, this isn't, like, you're lying. What do you mean you don't have mac and cheese for
Damn.
Thanksgiving?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't have mac and cheese either. So I
That's
don't know.
crazy. I'm gonna get my mac and cheese for Christmas time. That is for sure.
Yeah, better make sure somebody's making it.
Well, just like I said, if you offer to make the mac, like, first I gotta check in. Who's making the mac and cheese? Yeah, we're gonna have mac and cheese, but who's making it? Because if you make it and you totally mess it up, you might just don't come.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come. Because now you've messed up the mac and cheese that people are going to be upset about. So now we're going to be looking at you crazy as we're eating it. Because it's like this dry ass, terrible, gross ass mac and cheese. Now you're just mad while you're eating it, looking at the person that made it. But then if they don't bring it, but they still bring their person, now you're going to be looking at them being like, you know, I messed with the mac and cheese and the mac and cheese ain't even here, but you are here. Why even come? Right? And then it's like, I'm still going to be upset when you mess with the mac and cheese and decided not to come. So I'm just like, damn. So I didn't even get to see you, and we don't get mac and cheese. All because you messed up the mac and cheese.
Damn.
It's you can't take that job lightly.
Yeah, mac and cheese is pretty easy too. It's not. I mean, to make it perfect might take a little time and effort, but it's not like a super complicated dish.
It's really not. You know, like you could, again, remember we talked about you can have a foundation of your standard ingredients, and then you can add on to that. Shoot, off the top, I can give you an easy mac and cheese recipe that's not just like at the box.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hit up your elbow mac and cheese or your elbow noodles, boil those up. Got those done and everything. So for your cheese sauce, block Velveeta cheese, like the nacho cheese block cheese.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to cut up a whole one of those in cubes. Going to throw that in a pot with milk, some garlic powder, some onion powder, right?
Yeah.
So we'll salt and pepper. Stir it up. You make your cheese sauce. Then you pour it over the mac and cheese. Then you add more grated cheese on top, your breadcrumbs, and then you put it in the oven. Boom.
Easy.
Cover it. Easy. Cover it, because if you don't cover it, and then you just overcook it, it's going to dry it out and throw it away. Throw it away.
Throw it away.
That was just off the dome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you ever make it when you gotta throw some milk and flour with it? And then add some cheese?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess I forgot that. You got to throw a little flour in there. With the milk, right? So you got to thicken it up. Either flour or starch. Either way. Cornstarch. Yeah, have something in there. Now you want some mac and cheese, huh?
It does sound all right.
But yeah, we did our thing. We watched football, which I'm always a fan watching sports on those days. Had some good games to play. Friday went out. I said was feeling restless. I hate Black Friday. I hate shopping in general, but it was like there's some decent deals out there. You know, so I was like, hey, let's go check out and see what's going on. But then was immediately annoyed with people.
Yeah, I bet.
Man, people and their lack of just awareness bothers me. Just gonna stand right in the middle of the doorway. That's what we're gonna do, because nobody needs to enter or exit.
Yeah, I hate when people do that. They stop right in the middle of a walkway. And just don't acknowledge anybody that's trying to use the walkway
at all. And just like look at you. Just look at you. Because I'm like, what about this are you not seeing? Because that's what's going through my mind. Where they're like, they put their or they have a cart, maybe kind of the same thing they do at the grocery store. They just put their cart in the middle of the aisle, but then they're
Yeah.
not nowhere to be found. I'm just like, what is happening here? Right? Or browsing. Like Black Friday is not necessarily the time to browse and like walk in front of people and kind of, lackadaisical. That's the time to know what you are already looking for.
Mm-hmm. Are you a fast shopper? Like, do you
Oh
try to
yeah.
get in and out? Okay. Yeah, same here. I'm
Yeah, I
speed
know.
walking.
I know what I want. Even so, what you'll catch me doing, the only browsing you'll see me doing and shopping again, I still somewhat know what I want. It'll be stuff like shoes, like a shoe store, any kind of sporting goods store. I'll browse, even though I know what I want, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like if I'm clothes shopping, I know what I'm getting. I might not necessarily
Yeah.
be like, okay, I need this shirt from this place. I'll be like, okay, I need some kind of button-down shirt that's going to match my pants. I know I'm going to go to these 2 stores because I frequent those. If I don't see what I'm looking for within the first 15, 20 minutes, even maybe 10 or 15 minutes, I'm out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of do the same thing. Just in
I'm
and
not
out.
I'm not lingering. I told you I got PTSD from my grandma. I
Yeah.
didn't even tell you what the experience was like when my granny was in town. And it was just like me, my grandma, and my granny shopping around. Because my
Oh
granny,
no.
oh, OMG, this woman could spend, I'm not even kidding you, she spent 3 hours at a Goodwill and didn't buy anything.
Really? Oh.
I'm fighting my granny at that point. I'm gonna fight you. Because I'm glad that that time I stayed home, because if you're gonna have me in the Goodwill for 3 hours, what are we looking at for 3 hours at a Goodwill? And you to buy not one I'm gonna need you to buy salt and pepper shake at least.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. I can see little Deja just getting heated, like, come
I'm
on, Granny.
mad as hell. Ugh. What you mad about? I'm just ready to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Wanna go get my game at Blockbuster.
Go stand outside because you're mad. Like, I'm
Um,
waiting.
can't get lost though. Memories. Hated it. Uh, but anywho, yeah. So that was my time, and then Saturday I met up with some old undergrad friends of mine from Emporia. Uh, we got together. Hadn't seen a lot of them. Probably been like 12 years.
Dang.
Yeah, so it was, and we were a very tight knit group for 4 years, all my undergrads. So, we've all moved and people had got married and had kids, and, all of us were now in our mid 30s and stuff. And so it was just really nice for those that could come, reconnect, catch up, because it's different when you see stuff online. I try to keep up with people, but time just
Mm-hmm.
flies. But there, you don't always have enough time to call. I mean, yeah, you can text and stuff. It's just not the same when you actually get to sit with somebody, look them in the face, have a conversation.
Yeah.
How are you doing? How has the last 12 years been going? Right. So,
Yeah. That's a long time to catch up on. That's kind of wild. In 12 years.
hmm yeah. So that was really nice. We did that last night. Um, and that was that. Yeah, Emily and I had great brunch today with Nick and
Nice.
Marcella. Shout out.
Oh, no, that's cool.
hmm So yeah, that was
Yeah.
my overall week.
Sounds pretty solid.
Can't complain. Outside of the cold, and then so I had to put up some plastic
Yeah.
too in the back. Finally got the plastic up
Yeah.
back there. Cold. Trying to enjoy my little time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was not expecting snow yesterday.
Yeah,
Kind of,
that was just all of a
yeah.
sudden came.
Yeah, I went to work and we had our first break 2 hours later and there's 3 inches of snow on the ground. Kind of
Yeah, I bet that
wild.
was kind of crazy coming out too.
Yeah, like we went in and there was nothing. No rain. It might have rained, but no snow when we went in that morning, but 2 hours later, covered in snow.
Wild. Damn. So we are officially in December right
Yeah.
now. Right here we are. Before we talk about this new moon real quick, Not sure if you have any updates at all. Fundraising stuff, girls wrestling.
Yeah, I'm gonna share a link on my Facebook for the it's through the Raise 369 app. And
Okay.
I think you can donate to it through the link that I'm going to share, but I don't know if you have if you have to download the app to donate, or if you can just use the link. But I'm going to share a link on my Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. Hey, they'll figure that out once they click on it to
Yeah,
see
that's true.
if they can register or not.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I get it. Things are a little tight in the pockets these days, and at the same time, hey, $5, whatever, that can go a long way. It's for a good cause. I remember those days when I was out here fundraising too, whether it was Girl Scouts, whether it was band, that stuff adds up. So make sure you check out Michaela's page when she gets that up there, and support the girls wrestling team for sure, but also just in general, the high school wrestling teams, if you know of people who you have a link so you can get your fundraising on.
Yeah, we got our first meet on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. Where at? Are you excited?
Yeah, it's at Lawrence High School. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to actually watch a high school meet from start to finish and see what it's about, because I haven't done that yet.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a college one, but I haven't seen high schoolers, so it should be fun watching the girls on our team get out there and just see how they compete and what it's like, and just how aggressive these high schoolers are, because I'm kind of excited to see what wrestling's like, because I haven't seen girls wrestle before, or high school girls.
So I have a strong prediction here.
Yeah.
That you're really gonna find your niche in coaching. I think obviously you wanted to do it. It's something exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling is a new concept, but I don't know, have you ever coached anything before?
No.
Because
Yeah.
I know how I feel. How I felt when I was coaching.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're out there. You get passionate, right? It's like
Yeah.
you're not necessarily turning to a different person, but I don't know. I just think that something's gonna hit you on Wednesday that you're
We'll
not
see.
fully expecting, and you're gonna be like, oh.
Yeah, maybe. I bet it's exciting, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're gonna be out here. You're gonna be at that first meeting, be like, okay,
yelling.
such and such needs to work on this. We need to
for
drill
sure.
this.
No, I know that. I'm gonna bring a notebook. I'm gonna have my notes up.
Oh yeah. So that would be really awesome. If you're around, this episode will be out Wednesday morning. So as you are going to be listening to this, if you're thinking to yourself, I don't have nothing to do this evening, go check out some high school wrestling Wednesday. What was that? December 4th?
Yeah, 4th.
December 4th. What time?
Oh, I'm not sure what time. I should probably know that.
That's okay.
I'll figure
It's probably
that out.
right after school time,
Mm-hmm.
in between that time. But if you don't get a chance to make it this week for the first meet, go and check out. Wrestling season's going until February, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So exciting, Coach Michaela out here.
Yeah.
Do you have a wrestling uniform, shirt, polo, or?
No, not yet. I think.
Dang, what?
Yeah, I know. I think Carl said they're coming in. I should have a polo or something to wear.
Yeah, or a windbreaker suit, something.
Yeah.
You don't have to have me out here styling. Never be out to have me out here in street clothes.
A windbreaker.
Yeah.
All right. I'll step it up.
Get you a little fit here.
Dang, Deja, I don't have fits.
This can be built upon.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Put some work into it.
You're gonna feel the juice, feel the magic.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be fun. I'll see. I'm sure Carl's gonna be all excited and yelling, and he's gonna be wild. So.
Yep. So take note.
No, I will. Carl, drink your tears.
Get out there. Better be ready. We don't have time. Be out here just crying.
That's one of my favorite Carl quotes. He said that during a kids class.
No mercy. Damn. So that's exciting. That's coming up this December. So with this December, since we are just now entering, because you already know, Michaela and I, your basic burgers when it comes to astrology, but love to talk about it and just how things line up. What's the universal energy going around? How's that impacting us all? So now that we are in December and we are in Sagittarius season, this is taken from astrologyking.com. So we have the Sagittarius new moon on December 1st, 2024 is square Saturn. So the spiritual meaning of the December 2024 new moon astrology is taking responsibility, meeting obligations, and reducing inhibitions, guilt, and fears. This challenging new moon in December 2024 may cause a spiritual crisis of confidence, doubt, and uncertainty about our meaning in a world of increasing polarity, immorality, injustice, and despair. However, this negativity can be transformed into positive change and achievement through hard work, self-discipline, optimism, and faith. Again, that comes from astrologyking.com as we enter this new season, shaking it up, as Michaela and I have been talking about, we have planted, our sequoias have been planted, they're growing. Emily checked me and was like, I don't think it's a bush yet. It takes time to grow. And I was like, don't step on
Emily,
my perception of where I think our growth is at yet. So, okay, maybe we're not a bush yet, but we got leaves. Okay,
yeah.
we have strong roots.
Our roots are strong. We might not be super tall yet or bushy, but our roots are strong.
That's right, because we laid the foundation. And what we know about roots is once they latched on, they continue to embed themselves in the ground. That's right. Pull it down and get even more anchored and even more difficult to pull out. So I've been feeling this. So our sequoias that have been planted and they're developing their strong roots and all of that good stuff. This isn't an arrival. As Michaela and I have told you, your journey is not an arrival. It's called a journey for a reason because it's ongoing. So where are we at? How are we tending to X, Y, and Z? Okay, talked about this, but how is this aligning for today? And as you have noticed over the last, honestly, the entire time we've had this podcast, things have just been lining up universally.
Yeah, the past 20 weeks.
Because Michaela and I have been tapped in.
Yeah.
Without even knowing we've been tapped in, but then knowing we've been tapped in, but did we know we were tapped in?
I don't think we knew in the beginning how much that we would know now. I think we had no idea that we would know what we know, but but we're growing along the way and figuring it out.
That part, exactly that part. So with this new moon in Sagittarius season, specifically looking at, when it mentions at this astrologyking.com, the crisis of confidence. So, meeting the obligations, reducing the inhibitions, guilt, and fears. I think that is pretty spot on in terms of, okay, these things have been planted. You're entering your first wrestling meet. You're entering your first time coaching, right? And I'm sure there still is, but right before you started, there was probably a sense of nervousness, uncertainty. What is this going to look like? What is this going to feel like? Same thing when we did the podcast. I mean, this is, like I said, it's just fun for us. We like doing it, but we didn't necessarily know where this was going, where we continue to go. Our jujitsu games, competition, continuing to network, branch out. I feel like everything is kind of coming to a head just to kind of round out the end of the year for us.
Yeah, I feel that too. Yeah, we're making good progress. Like I can feel the progress building. And that energy, just everything, like you can feel the potential that we're developing.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, it is. The work does not stop. So,
Mm-mm.
with that said, obviously we have our content for you all we'll be talking about, but that was inspiration with the new moon, everything that's been coming about throughout this year. Topic of the week today will be, and this was taken popular Zen koan. I don't know if anybody's heard of that, but this is where this particular saying comes from. But does the tree that falls in the woods make a sound if no one is there to hear it? So basically, like, why does the perception of the thing have to make it true? Continuing our theme of perceptions, right? Don't lie to your eyes, as we had talked about in episode 18. And then our Zen talk today will be following the rabbit hole of self inquiry, which includes accepting our humanity while also accepting the paradoxical relationship with free will. So we've got some stuff to dive into. We're heavy on the consciousness today, everybody.
Yeah. Episode 20, bringing it out.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So with that said, let me pull it up because as Michaela and I had mentioned last week, there's not a lot of big MMA fight grappling stuff towards because we're at the end of the year. But we do have UFC 310 coming up this weekend. Let's see. So headliners Pantoja against Kai Asakura will be for the flyweight title. We have the co-main event in Shawcott versus Ian Gary. Heavyweight bout, we have Cyril Gahn fighting Alexander Volkov. Featherweight fight, which I think will be a fun grappling exchange. We have Bryce Mitchell fighting Crone Gracie. Another featherweight fight, and Nate Landwehr fighting Choi Doho. And I'm pretty sure this was the one, saying that there are no women on this card, which is a bummer. But should be, as I'm looking at this card at the prelims, maybe some decent, they have potential to be good fights, but I've also seen these potential good fights be boring as well. Do you have that pulled up? Or are you looking at the card?
I'm looking at them. Yeah, we'll see. Don't know a whole lot of these fighters, but you never know. Might have some good fights in there.
Yeah, there's potential. Like I said, I think the Bryce Mitchell Crone Gracie fight, if they're gonna grapple, I think that would be an interesting fight to watch for the grappling exchanges. I mean, even the co-main Shavkat versus Ian Gary, even though Ian Gary is known for his striking, he's annoying. I can't stand the dude, but he's known for his striking. I don't know why I really haven't seen him do anything impressive personally. Just playing, just touch and go. Well, like nothing impressive. But Shavkat's wrestling, grappling has been pretty good and fun to watch. So maybe he can get in there, make Ian Gary fight him to get away from those grappling clinch exchanges. So that could have, again, more potential. We'll see.
Yeah, kind of a bummer there's no women fights on that card.
I know.
Like not a single one.
Not on the early prelims or preliminary. And there wasn't even a fight and they didn't even have any that were canceled. So when they announced this card, they had no women in it.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
I'm like, where is it? Oh, it's in Vegas.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Well, that is this Saturday. Something to watch, something to do. You have any predictions on that one?
No, I don't know these fighters.
Yeah, like, right. It's like, And the last UFC card for the year is going to be the week after UFC on ESPN, which will be Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley. And that's the one where Mackenzie Dern is going to be co-main against Amanda Ribas. So that should be a fun fight, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that Tracy Cortez was supposed to fight, but that got canceled. Dang, haven't seen her for a while.
Haven't seen her since she got the eyelash punched off. Yeah, she was supposed to fight Miranda Maverick, which would have been a really good fight to see.
Yeah.
I wonder if Miranda is still on the card. Yeah, Miranda's still on the card. She's on the prelim card, and she's fighting Jamie Lynn Horth, who I've never heard of, but she's 71, so that could be a decent fight. But that's it for the women on for the end of the year when it comes to fights. But there was, and that's for UFC. But I did put a note on here. I don't know. Did you see the PFL Championship?
Yeah, I didn't catch that, but I saw your note. Dakota,
Dachiva, something like that. Again, we always butcher names. It's fine. But it looks like, yeah, she won. She was 125-pound PFL championship on Friday by finishing Talia Santos. I want to say I've heard Talia's name before. I thought she fought in the UFC at one point.
Oh no.
But yeah, she finished her in the second round TKO. So good for her, good for PFL. And that fight was actually in Saudi Arabia. So good to see the ladies fighting over there too.
Dang. Do you watch the PFL?
I don't because they don't have enough like big names, or you know, it's sad to say, right? I'm like a fan of the sport anyway, so the names are necessarily irrelevant, but they don't have any big names that they're coming out of it that I'm following, and it typically there's not a lot of advertisements either. I don't see, unless you're going to the sites like MMA news.com or it's on Reddit or something. I'm not seeing PFL advertise unless it's no, because Francis fights for one. And they have their fight. I think they typically have their fights. Maybe it was yesterday. I thought they usually have theirs on Fridays, but no, I don't.
Yeah, me neither.
But hey, if there's something good, I'll check it out. If there's something interesting, there just hasn't really been a lot. So that's that for PFL. Do you have anything else for UFC news or any other thoughts or anything for that?
No, not really. I'm just surprised, like, that's it for the end of the year. Like, those two cards, and that's it.
Yeah, usually they have something at least like the third week of December. It just kind of seems like it's a little early to have, especially not even have a big card. Like I said, the bigger card, I guess, big name would have been John Jones, but that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Do they have like a New Year's fight card, like something big in January or early January?
That's a good question.
Guess we could have looked into that.
I don't think they have it. I know that they have stuff announced. It's not popping up at the so far right now. And obviously they don't have a lot of like stuff. They're still putting together fights, obviously, because the next fight, it looks like the first fight of the year will be January 11th. And that will be UFC Fight Night 241. And the first pay-per-view event, UFC 311, will be Saturday, January 18th before the new year, 2025.
Dang. So we gotta wait 3 weeks into January
Oh,
for a fight
month.
card. Oh, that's wild.
Yep. So
All right.
gotta check out some other stuff. Glad on it, football, basketball
Mm-hmm.
season.
Yeah. When does basketball start up?
Oh, they started in
Oh, nice.
October, right? The
Oh,
thing about obviously college ball, see college ball's going on. I prefer to watch college. Well, that's a lie. I used to prefer watching college basketball over the NBA because I was like, it's not fun necessarily watching the NBA in season until they get to the playoffs, and then it's fun to watch the playoffs. But now I like to watch certain players, so I will typically catch more NBA in-season games now versus just waiting till the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they have such a long season, right?
Yeah, I'll usually catch some basketball towards the end of the year or towards playoffs, but I don't usually watch a whole lot. Just football and UFC.
Yep. Contact sport.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, basketball is a contact sport,
yeah.
too.
Yeah. Basketball was fun back in the day.
Back in the day, no handles.
Hey, I was good on defense.
D up. D up. Hey, as long as if you had really good defense, it was a bonus to have a good offensive play.
Yeah. Yeah, I just had no hands, so I could swat balls away, but
like I said, I had no hands because I was the tallest until fifth grade, and then it was like, oh, you're a guard. And I was like, well, nobody taught me how to play the guard.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was the tallest, but I'm like 5'10".
Yep. Dude, and even 5'6" for me with shoes.
Little Deja posting up.
Posting up. But see, that's big in fourth and fifth grade. I just stopped growing in sixth grade. It is what it is.
Yeah. Did you have a good vertical?
Not really.
Dang.
Nope. Didn't get that gift. I know. I needed that running start. I can body you up.
Yeah. I'm sure you can't. I'm sure
you're
you
not
did.
You're not gonna get to the basket just willingly on me. Like you're gonna have to go through some fire a little bit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when me and Sam played you that one day, definitely felt the fire.
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh,
right.
Shit.
Locked in. It's a different mode.
Yeah. It's like, damn, can't play basketball. You're kicking my ass in basketball too.
I say we gotta play some other shit that we're like not familiar with though.
Yeah.
Like pickleball maybe? But I don't know if that'd be fair because I was a tennis player.
I don't know. Yeah, I probably want to be fair.
But it's different. Pickleball is different. Or ping pong.
I mean, I would pass on those sports, but I'll give them a try. I'll try them out.
Which one would you entertain? Not of those, but another one.
My hand-eye coordination's just not the best.
I would light you up in ping pong.
Yeah, you would. We would have to slow things down.
Okay. What about I guess not necessarily competitive though, but you bike, right? You like to bike?
I mean, yeah, it's fun. It's all right. It's like a relaxing
Would you bike?
thing. I'd bike, yeah.
In the terrain?
I'd try.
Bike. I mean, it's fun, but not just cruising.
Yeah, I'd try. I haven't done it before. I tried going off the track once in Lawrence, and I rode up a little hill and fell off.
Dang.
I think I hit a tree.
Oh, dang.
I got too much speed, went down, and then came up a little hill and lost it. Haven't done it since, but I'd give it a try.
Okay, noted. What else? What about okay, bocce ball?
That one's fun. I could do that.
We could play some bocce.
Yeah. Do you like volleyball?
Yeah, but I could play. I'm really not that great at it.
Yeah.
You're probably really good at volleyball.
I mean, I can jump, but that's about all I got.
But not like spiking it
I
or
could
anything.
spike it.
Oh yeah.
That's my thing. I could just block and spike.
Those are that's pretty much essential. Like those are a whole position just for those two things.
Mm-hmm.
Wild.
Yeah, I don't know. Pool? Like, is that a
Yeah,
sport
okay.
that?
Cool, but I might have the advantage on you on that one. But we could play.
Why? Have you played before?
Yeah.
A lot?
My dad, taught me how to play.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean,
I'd be down. Let's go get some quarters.
all right. See, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Go play pool. We can maybe have a beer and just play pool for an evening. Ooh, we should do that. We should get our squad to come do that. That'd be fun.
We gotta find a place because the two places that you can like play like this, like the billiards, it's a little sketch. But I think it would be fine with our crew.
No, we'd be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun. All right.
Okay. Noted. Yeah. Nikki, we're playing pool.
Just shout out to Nikki.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Are we gonna play teams?
I think we should. Because I mean, if we did like an individual bracket tournament, it might get a little too competitive. I don't know.
I can see that.
Okay, noted.
Yeah, I don't know what other sports. Like, I think that might be the main. Like,
that's a pretty neutral.
Yeah. Because anything else, I feel like somebody has the advantage somehow.
I mean, it's not really supposed to say like laser tag, right?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Or paintball. That's definitely we're gonna play that, and I'm already thinking strategy. I play too much Call of Duty to not do well.
Dang, you and Kate. It's just gonna be you and Kate.
Oh, Kate. It would just be like, oh, I'm lighting Kate up. Kate, I'm lighting you up. I'm hiding. You're gonna put your hands up. Yeah, I'm emptying the clip on you. Yeah, it's going down. You're good. Kate's gonna be my only target.
Yeah. No, same here. I mean, unless we're on the same team.
Well, then
hey,
I got on the same team. You can get it too. It's gonna be like
damn,
like doubles when I was in tennis and I'd serve the ball and I'd accidentally hit my teammate in the back of the head.
Aw, damn.
Hey, you gotta be watching out. I'm trying to get the ball over the net. Yeah. So, hey, if we're on the same team, I might accidentally shoot you to get to somebody else.
Damn. See, that'd be me. I'd be the one getting hit in the head.
I got to shoot through you I was trying to win us the game.
All right.
Yeah. So, be ready, y'all. Girl squad, girl gang.
Going out on the town.
Yep. That's right. All right. Well, reeling it in. Okay, well, no more UFC or MMA news for the remainder of the year, but we have some jiu-jitsu news coming up for the remainder of the year. IBJJF No Worlds will be not this weekend, but the following weekend coming up, as mentioned. I'm not competing. Michaela's not competing in that, but note to self for next time. Just need to plan accordingly. But big names, which is super exciting for the jiu-jitsu world. So what do we got? Who do we got coming up for this no-gi worlds, Michaela?
I mean, the only person I know of is that wrestler.
Yeah.
What's her name? Helen?
Yep. So we got Olympic gold medalist Helen Morales is coming to no-gi worlds in Vegas as a blue belt, which is, kind of interesting to me. Like, we have an Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, I think she's a 3-time medalist too.
And we're not talking about the gi.
Yeah, and you said she's 31, so she's in the Masters division, competing in the adults division. That's wild.
Yeah.
All these little blue belts.
It's like, yeah, Becky out here that's got the accounting job on Monday doesn't know what is about to happen to her.
Yeah.
That weekend. it's super exciting because, you get names like this out there, especially like we talked about, really, building up the women's, the name, just, more popularity in the sport. This is really, it's like, it's, when not as big as a name, but when Mighty Mouse started training in the gi, it just, those kind of names, they bring more excitement, they bring more eyes. So that's just kind of cool to see. What do you think on that?
Yeah, she's got 23 girls in her bracket too. So that's a pretty big bracket. Oh,
That's
I want to
huge.
watch her. I want to watch Worlds. We should watch it.
You saw Flow, right?
I just canceled.
Dang! Hey, Matt and
But
Heidi.
Matt and Heidi, yeah, we can go
Yeah,
watch
so
at the
we need to have like
gym.
a little like watch party. They usually release the brackets that first week or
Mm-hmm.
the a few days prior.
Yeah, tomorrow's the last day to sign up, and I was thinking like, I got until tomorrow if I want a
Oh
last
shit.
minute impulsive buy a plane ticket. Be like, let's go.
Hey. Hey, it's good. You'll see
Um,
her at some point. So getting some more information off of the website bjjeasterneurope.com. They had mentioned that yep, she's going to compete in the adult lightweight division. I guess the decision did stir up some controversy and a bit of excitement, obviously, like knowing who she is. So she clinched Olympic gold in the 2016 Rio Games. She made history as the first U.S. woman to achieve this feat in wrestling. Super cool. She's got 3 world championships and 2 Olympic bronze medals also to her name. She is dominant in freestyle wrestling, and now she is transitioning to jujitsu. And I guess, yeah, she's long has said that she has a passion for jujitsu, so that's pretty cool.
mm-hmm.
And I guess she likes to poke a little fun because also on this bjjee.com, they had mentioned that she poked fun at BJJ practitioners for their tendency to pull guard, a move often dismissed by wrestlers and are overly passive. As a guard puller, hey, get your jujitsu better. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, this
Let's
isn't
see, Helen. What if she gets a guillotine first round? You never know.
exactly. Okay, you take me down. Cool. What are we doing on the ground?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand the mindset of that, of like wanting to stand up and get the takedown for your 5 or 6 minutes. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
jujitsu. We
Yeah.
need to be on the ground doing this. So what, you gonna be mad at me because I pulled guard because you didn't take me down? Or like, we are gonna be on the ground anyway. So what, you
Mm-hmm.
gonna take me down? You got mad because I didn't let you take me down so you could end up on top, but I pulled guard so you can end up on top. What are we talking about?
Mm. Yeah, I feel like everybody should be able to do both. You should be able to pull and you should be able to take someone down. Like it's not either or. You should be able to do everything.
Exactly. Exactly. So that we'll see how she does. They did mention, so also on the bjjee.com, because right when we initially brought this up, it's kind of like, okay, we have Olympic gold medalist competing as a blue belt and not
Mm-hmm.
in the gi and the no gi. Seems a little unfair. But they had said, right, there was some sandbagging controversy. So Morales' decision to enter as a blue belt raised some eyebrows, given her elite grappling background, of course. So, as far as the IBJJF rules and eligibility, it seems that she's in the formal time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they're gonna have to figure that out. I'm curious how many competitions she'll do or how long she'll stay at blue belt. Maybe she completely dominates. Maybe she doesn't. I don't know. At MG
Yeah.
Worlds, I think she'll have some pretty good competition now.
Yeah. I wonder if she's competed before.
Mm, I was like, I don't know.
I'm gonna try to
Let's
type
see.
that into Flow real quick and see if her name pops up.
Yeah. So she did return to the Olympics in 2020 and she won a bronze medal. In the qualifying for the 2024 Olympic Games, she became the first female U.S. wrestler to compete at 3 editions. So she left with another bronze there as well. So this is off of jitsmagazine.com. Morales trains at Unity Jiu-Jitsu, and she will be representing them on the biggest stage as she competes at the IBJJF No-Gi World Championships 2024. She does have limited amount of experience in jiu-jitsu and will be competing at blue belt as a result. So I'm not seeing where she's competed.
Yeah, I didn't see anything on Flow, so she might not have competed in any IBJJF events, but
yeah. Says here, as a veteran wrestler, Morales would never be able to enter any white belt division under the IBJJF
well, that's
rules.
good.
Clearly, yeah. And blue belt is the earliest level that she could compete at, and she is also not able to enter at any higher belt division due to the IBJJF
No, that's
time requirements.
wild.
So I guess if she wanted to enter as a higher belt ranking according to IBJJF rule set, she's not even allowed to do so.
Yeah,
I think she has to be a blue belt then at least a year or 2 years
I think
before
it's
then.
2, isn't it? Each belt, I think you have to be at for 2 years.
Belt requirements. So as far as the graduation system, so officially on the IBJJF website, they do have a whole graduation system. And let me get out of the kids here. It tells you the size stuff has to be. I don't need all of that. So we have minimum period. And again, this is for IBJJF. I'm getting this off of their PDF. So the graduation of athletes must meet the following minimum periods of permanence in each belt. Practitioners age 4 to 15 years old. There's no minimum period of stay in each belt. Athletes age 16 and 17 years old, juvenile 1 and 2, white belt, no minimum time, blue belt, no minimum time, and purple belt. Athletes are eligible for the brown belt only in the adult division. So I'd have to further look into that. Adults or athletes from 18 years old, white belt to brown belt, adult and masters. White belt, there's no minimum time. Blue belt, so you have 2 years. So there's 5 options here. You have 2 years. You either have 1 year if the athlete was previously registered as a gray, yellow, or orange belt. You have no minimum period if the athlete was provisionally registered as a green belt. You also have no minimum period if the athlete was previously registered as a blue belt juvenile, or you have no minimum period if the athlete is the adult blue belt world champion. So let's say she goes out there and she wins, she can immediately get promoted to purple. But if she doesn't until she gets a win at that level, yeah, she has to be there at least 2 years.
Okay.
Complicated.
Yeah.
So you could see it. But maybe not. I don't know. You'd probably be purple by that time unless she wins. So. Well, you'll definitely be purple before prediction by the end of, but before next year, by this time.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully.
But I think, I was like, I think next year for Worlds and no-gi Worlds and gi Worlds, I think you'll definitely have your purple for that.
Yeah, dang. Gonna have to start prepping for those.
So yeah, that's cool. Get the name of the sport out there. So we'll be watching, hopefully.
Yeah, I need to look into the black belts competing, like just to see what other names are out there, and just like in every division, blue through black.
Well, since the last day to sign up is coming up tomorrow, they'll be releasing more stuff. Yeah. Other couple mentions before I go to the Chewy thing. So we have AGF Tulsa. We got some teammates of ours competing, first timer. Lauren,
Yeah, Lauren.
let's go. Do you have the date for that off the top of your head?
December 21st.
All right, December 21st in Tulsa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do we know how many people are competing at this one? It's a decent.
No. It's a decent
Bro.
amount. At least 10, if not more, from 10 people from our gym are competing. So that'll be a fun time. And yeah, it'll be fun to see my sister, how she does first time competing.
She's got to smash it.
Yeah. She better. I don't know. Talking about the coaching thing, I don't know how I'll handle watching Lauren get smashed if she ever got smashed. That might light something in me. Watching
might try to pull up on somebody.
Yeah.
I'm here for. Are you gonna go?
I don't know, because of work.
Work.
Yeah. I'm taking next weekend off. So I'm thinking about either calling in sick the 21st or I haven't thought it through yet.
I feel like it's an automatic. It's your sister's first ever competition.
I know. I know.
Think on it.
Yeah, I'll think on it. I really want to go. I just also, I don't need my job, but I don't know. I'll think on it.
Mm-hmm.
I just hate that I have to take off this weekend or this coming weekend, and then in 2 more weeks, I might just call in sick. We'll see.
So I'm gonna push for this. So
yeah, I know. I don't want to miss my sister's first match.
Exactly. Just be there for support, regardless of what happens.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Bill.
You got sick days, use them.
Yeah. You're right.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Are you going down to Tulsa?
Probably not. Probably not. There might be some streaming. I don't know if they sometimes have it on YouTube.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a long shot.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be cool. Michaela's got orbit submission coming up, right?
Yep. Saturday.
December 7th. You got a new opponent?
Yeah. Yeah. Her name's Emily Vanderhoosen.
Vanderhoosen.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. She's a blue belt.
Is she from Iowa, do you know? Or is she coming in from somewhere?
Her gym's Tipping Point Jiu-Jitsu. I think it's out in Iowa, but I'm not 100% sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And Julian's on this card too?
I think so. Yeah. From the schedule they sent out like a couple weeks ago, he's on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right.
Yeah, should see Julian out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, that'd be fun. Good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Are you going on your own? Is Heidi going with you, or
no? Jeff's going out there with me.
Okay, well, nice. That'd be a solid little trip. What, a few hour drive?
It's 5 hours.
Oh shit! You're higher. You're north then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll drive out there Saturday, compete, and then stay the night and drive back Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm. Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, that's coming up then. All right. Well, going back up to Chewy, because this might be a nice segue into our topic of the week. So this Chewy, I don't know if anybody follows Chewy out there, BJJ. I'm subscribed. But this had came up back in November 9th and thought it was also fitting for our topic in Zen Talk today. But he had mentioned and was talking about knowledge, and basically like information itself doesn't change behavior. So you have to have the feelings and experience to actually change said behavior. Michaela and I have definitely spoke ad nauseum about that, especially coming from Vegas, right? When it comes to competitions, it's just, you can practice, and again, your jiu-jitsu journey and however you decide to do that is yours, no shade or anything. And it's also saying when it comes to things like competition, you tend to take away what it is I'm strong at, what are some areas that I didn't know, are some areas that I kind of need to sharpen up or work on. But I can look at something and maybe think I know, or I have this information, but, Heidi could tell me, you're too flat on your back. I'm like, okay, I hear you. Right. And try to correct it. But until I actually feel it, it's just not necessarily going to translate over.
Yeah, until things just click, or until when things just make sense, and you're like, like that's what the feeling is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hate looking back at matches and seeing like, why'd I do that, or why'd I not do something? Because like I knew about this move, but I just didn't do it. But it is hard to translate that knowledge in the moment, like with the pressure of a match, just trying to think, recall everything. That's
exactly.
hard.
Because it's not in your automatic system, right? I was just having a conversation yesterday actually with Clay at Open Mat, and he was working on some stuff, and Heidi was working with him on a few things, and he was like, yeah, this will be good if I remember it. It's just like so much information. And it's always so much information. And the thing I was trying to tell him that I found helpful, and I've said this before, is it's one thing to talk about it. And everybody learns differently, right? There's some people that learn just word processing. There's people that kinesthetic actually have to do it, a mixture of both or whatever. And I said, for me, you have so much information that you're getting all the time, every day, even if you've heard the same technique, right? You've drilled like the same thing in whatnot, until you actually start intentionally doing it. So I said, you're always going to have your phone. You're always going to shrink, right? You're always going to, try to use your frames, but once a week or not once a week, but for a week or a month, that's what, right? You pick one thing to focus on. Even if you get in bad positions, don't just go, I'm just doing this so I don't get put in a bad position or I'm going to lose. Like working on, being better, being on my side and half guards. I have to put myself in certain positions, or maybe working on escapes from side. So, okay, when this person, I'm not just going to let them get to side, but once we get to side, okay, this is what I'm really going to work on. You have to be very specific versus just kind of, because the information it's not going to stick.
Yeah, it's hard to be specific too, like just in practice, because there is so much to focus and think about. For me, it's hard to pick just one area to focus in. Or, I mean, I can do that. Like I worked passing with you for a long time, but I feel like now my brain's in a lot of different areas, and it's hard to just pick one to settle down and work on.
Now I hear that. It's like, all right, this is what I'm doing. So it's like, okay, I've been working butterfly, and I've noticed I haven't really been getting under people as much as I'd want to. I'm straining a little too much on my elevation. So that's going to be my goal. Even if I don't get the sweep, did I elevate somebody easier and more efficiently this time than what's been happening? So that's what you build on.
Just breaking it down a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, Clay was asking me what I like, just how I work on things or what am I focusing on, and I told him like I'm kind of scatterbrained, like I'm everywhere right now.
I think it's easy to be.
Yeah, because there's just so much. Like so much information.
Too much sometimes. Well, speaking of information, great segue then.
Yeah.
I think. Do you think so? Yeah. To our topic now as we enter consciousness. Yeah. So thinking about what we were just talking about, our topic of the week. If you haven't heard this saying before, the popular Zen koan is, does the tree that falls in the woods, does it make a sound if no one is there to hear it?
I think it does.
Exactly. Right? So like kind of that question is, why does the perception of the thing have to make it true? So if you're learning something new and you can't necessarily see the importance, or drilling, right? I don't see the importance, or I can't me, making this tighter in this way, I don't see how this is going to impact me 5 years later and whatnot. It still is impacting you. But your perception is on the right now. And so it's difficult for you to maybe envision the little micro steps towards this. But once you've done whatever for 5 years, and then, like you said, you go back and you're like, oh, why was I doing this then? That was your perception then. That's what you were doing. That was your knowledge base then. But if you didn't put the work in, because it's like, well, I can't see it because it's not in my right now, well, then you wouldn't have been making those incremental steps towards your progression.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah, it is all about perception. Because you only know what you know at the moment. And sometimes you have to, like, sometimes that's just where you're at. And you gotta, like, in the future, then you'll start to understand, like, oh, I was doing this because of this reason. Like what we were talking about before, like everything builds up to a certain point and there's different paths you take depending on like where you're at. And sometimes I don't know, you can only see that progress later down the road when you're further down the road.
Yes, that part. But it's like knowing I'm still gonna, like, I can't see the end. I just see more road, but keep walking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's hard too. Like if you get caught up in that, because sometimes I get caught up in like the future or the end goal, but there's not an end goal because we're on a journey. Like there's never, I mean, we're just going to keep progressing. Like it's the path we're on, the progression we're making every day. It's not like, hey, I'm eventually going to be at this one point. Like, no, I'm building every day and recognizing that growth. But
yeah. And going back, because you're not going to feel it. You're not going to necessarily feel, but it also doesn't necessarily mean you're at a complete regression with certain things. You're just kind of like thinking like that person eating fast food or eating a bag of Cheetos every day. In the moment, that feels great. And maybe not so much an hour or two afterwards. You're like, oh, I'm never going to eat Mickey D's again or a bag of Cheetos. But then the next day you do the same thing. Pants are still fitting the same. But then after about like 3-4 weeks, they're like, oh, it's getting a little tighter. And then you hit that hump. But then you can't see where you're going to put yourself 5 years down the line. Because you're just doing right? It was like, oh yeah, I'm getting myself out of shape. I'm being unhealthy. But it's not in your reality at that point in time. But then when 5 years occurs, because you've been making little steps towards that particular thing, then you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm shocked. How did I get here?
Dang. And it is like it's a slippery slope getting there too, because then you're like, shit, how do I fix this? But you got to that point like in those 5 years. And like, hey, you should have fixed it 5 years ago. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, jujitsu's like that, but in a positive way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's time. Like Nikki was talking about on our pod. There's just certain things you can say or you could talk about, but it's still not going to translate because you haven't had the mat time yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is cool. Like seeing those little things that you do notice, like, oh, I'm improving because of the mat time.
Yeah.
Like when you were talking to me a week ago about being heavy from like closed guard, like using your weight to be heavy in a position like I wouldn't think about being heavy in, like heavy from like I can't even explain
I know
it.
From when like you're blocking that from the arm drag position, so to speak, or if you get people off the midline when you're in closed guard, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but being heavy, like being like using pressure to take up space from that position, like a position where you're on the bottom. Like I didn't really think about that before, but that's something, because I've been thinking about that. Like, how do you learn those things for the next step? Like, how do you learn or figure out what the next step's going to be? But then I was just thinking about it, and it's mat time. Like, did you figure that out from reading something, or did you figure that out because just from mat time and rolling?
It's feeling, like you can talk all day about the pressure you're supposed to, right? That's why like when we when we are drilling and you're doing a move, it's like, here, let me do this on you so you can feel it. Versus like what I'm saying, like you should feel pressure X, Y. I was like, I'm hearing what you're saying, but I don't feel what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Same thing. I think it's just time. You know, I just kind of think about stuff. Like, I mean, no matter how much time or, you know, like things that Heidi has had to do to just get back on the mats, stay on the mats or whatever, her pressure outside of being injured, right, it hasn't changed. And that comes with experience, that comes with the mat time, that comes with just knowing how to use your angles in your body to make things so much tighter. And you can't do that without feeling it. Like, oh, I gotta move. Okay, I got in this position. Oh, I need to rotate my hips just slightly. So then when you start thinking about it, now that's something that you're intentionally doing. And then when you start intentionally doing it, then like your body just naturally starts to do that. And you start to feel the difference and then start adjusting within that difference.
Yeah, building up that muscle memory. Yeah, it's fun though. It's fun making little progress or making little steps and seeing that and knowing, oh, that's from the hours at jujitsu. Like that's just from the hours on the mat. Like every week we spend on the mats. That's what's leading up to that.
Exactly. Dang. Put the work in. It does not stop, even if you don't think or know that you are making a progress. You're not in the same place you were the day before when you start doing different shit. It's just impossible.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I think I was telling Lauren about that last week. Like, cause she was getting frustrated, you know, because she wants to know everything.
Yeah.
And I told her, like, Lauren, compare yourself to where you were on your first day. Like, look at how much progress you've made since your first day. Like, it's awesome.
Exactly. You have to go back. And then because you get so far removed from those times that you forget. And it's like, you have to remind you, like, this, I didn't know this stuff, but I wasn't at this place 5 months ago, a year ago.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing with jiu-jitsu too. Like just a month ago, like you can make so much progress in 1 month, which is insane. Like I wish we could roll with our past selves.
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be awesome.
I would tear my past self up.
Yeah. Blue belt Deja.
Dang. Yeah, that'd be wild. Oh, okay. Sorry, this just came up on my email. Let me read this in real time. Because it's relevant. Sorry, this just popped up.
All right.
November podcast insights from Podbean, who we distribute our episodes through. It looks like our November podcast performance. So we've had 53 total downloads in November.
Oh, damn.
Might be a little down from the listens from the previous month, but we're still doing all right. Our most popular episode in November was Don't Lie to Your Eyes.
All right.
And popular listening times in country, which is kind of funny here. So a popular day, it looks like people like listening to us on Saturdays. 1 a.m. seems to be a popular time.
All right.
In the U.S. is obviously our popular country. So that's where we're at.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice work, Deja.
Great job, Michaela. We're out here. Yeah.
Man.
What you go into little baby steps, right? First episode, we had 1 or 2 listeners. Which may have been us, you know?
Yeah, probably.
But here we are.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. 53 downloads for November. All right. All right, listeners.
Right. We appreciate you all. Keep listening, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your peeps, get the word out.
Yeah, that's exciting. Growth.
That's right. Well, speaking of growth, are you ready to
segue?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So keeping this topic alive as we transition from our topic of the week that we just talked about to Zen talk. So following the rabbit hole of self-inquiry or inquiry, which includes accepting our humanity while also accepting the paradoxical relationship with free will.
Yeah, I had to read this a few times to to grasp what you were getting at.
So, what have you grasped thus far with the
I have to read
it
again.
All right.
No, I have to break it down.
Break it down. So we have following the rabbit hole of self-inquiry.
So like deep diving into yourself, like reflecting.
And accepting your humanity, your humanness, and also accepting the paradoxical relationship, so the contradictory relationship of your humanity with free will. So kind of understanding, okay, yes, there's a lot of things that are out of our control and the stuff that's in our control, but we always have free will. We always have options. If I completely simplify it, somebody be like, well, how am I supposed to eat healthy if I'm on a budget? I'm not, I'm balling on a budget. Maybe around me, I don't really have the nutritional education. So I'm eating a lot of processed food and whatnot, but I'm sitting there playing the blame game because I don't know. Nobody taught me how this. And I'm, I only have this much money and whatnot. And so that's kind of like the paradox. It's like, okay, here are my options. Here are my resources. And I also have free will to kind of try to figure out and make an alternative for myself where it's not necessarily to my detriment. And understanding the humanness aspect of it, it's like, I'm going to eat. That's survival. I have to eat. But your free will on how you're going about that.
All right.
You get what I'm saying?
A little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even jujitsu and training. Right? If we could accept our humanness, there's time we need rest. We have to have rest when you're working out, training, right? But it's also your free will to know, to be intentional about that. Does a week of rest turn into 2-3 weeks a month, right? Do you continue? Well, yeah, my humanness, I need to rest my body. Maybe I have an annoying little tweak on my knee or something like that. And maybe my ego, I let my ego get the best of me and I don't rehab it. I don't do what I'm supposed to be doing, properly stretching. I just want to get on the mats and I just want to roll because my humanness of assertiveness and energy, and I just want to be the best and all of that. And obviously self-care, right? But your free will to not have boundaries placed upon self can end up being a negative result.
I got you. So finding that balance.
Yeah. Another one for you real quick.
All right.
And like our past episodes, like we've talked about, in order to operate in the state of flow, in order to have control, I guess, right, is letting go. So that's the paradox of it.
I got you.
Right? The more tightly I'm trying to hold something or control something, the more rigid, the more tense it's going to be, and I'm not going to flow within that. The more control I actually have in things is actually letting go of the perception of what control I think I.
Dang. So back to the Matrix, you gotta let go to be able to move past to the next level, or take the red pill.
Take the red pill.
Yeah. Is that so? Not accepting it would be letting your ego get the best of you, then, like not being able to let go, or I don't know, like would that be having too much free will, or letting you not controlling your free will?
I would say all of that on what you just said to that question. And I would also say maybe in a way, if you think about it, you could let yourself critique or judgment get yourself completely in a rut and right to where you have no kind of movement. I'm this, that, the other. I'll never be this. This person, right? Comparison is so much better than me. And then that ends up translating into just you stagnating yourself, right? That's free will. And so because you're so enmeshed in critiquing you as a person, your authenticity as an individual, and how you fit within said system, I'm willing to put myself in a corner and continue holding myself down, but I'm still pointing the finger over here versus here.
Dang. So your free will can become negative when you let it get the best of you because you're not using it to its potential.
Exactly. And you're perceiving that it's other people or it's other things that are controlling your progression or how you want to move. It just might be a different path, and the end result might look differently, but the essence stays the same.
Dang.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm just thinking on this. So like our perception influences our free will. Like our free will might not be as free as we think it is because it's based off of our perception of our own reality, and we're making decisions based on our perception.
Yeah.
Dang. That's clicking now. I'm getting it.
Bam Bam is locking in now. We're locked in.
Dang. So like, do we got free will if it's based on how we see the world?
You got to open the bird cage. Don't put yourself in a bird cage.
Yeah.
Free your mind.
I guess.
Feed your head is what they say.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because if your perception's like, hey, I can do anything, and you don't put limits on yourself, then your free will is unlimited.
And you could also, right, put yourself in situations that I could do anything, and then you don't have appropriate boundaries for yourself and end up making things, right? So there's a balance within that free will, while also, like I said, it's like not putting yourself, not being constrained by the fence or the cage, but understanding there could be freeness and flexibility within that structure on how you build and how you want to go about your perception. Because your perception of reality is also subject to change based off the experiences that you're willing to expose yourself to.
Yeah. Do you think do you put barriers on yourself or limits on yourself? Do you tend to do that? Yeah.
I think it's a natural thing, right? You kind of maybe naturally talk yourself out of something. You can find 15 different things to be like, yeah, this is why this isn't going to work or something. If you're so focused, again, like we've talked about in the past, you're so focused on the outcome and being like, well, A and B has to equal C. That's not the way it works sometimes. And like your subjective value of A, B, and C might not be the same as mine. You know what I mean? Like somebody's financial freedom to them might equate to having $1 billion in the bank. For somebody else's financial freedom, it could literally be like just enough money in the bank to just pay for housing, and they're happy and they're doing everything else. Like, right? Like, so finding your individuality within your value that you have and what your perception is of said value.
Damn.
Hitting you with the sauce right now.
I know. Yeah, that's making sense. That's how to think about it.
Now you gotta sit with it.
I know. You leave me just sitting with it almost every podcast. I'm like, all right, I gotta think about that. That's good though.
It is.
I need to think more. More about this deep diving into the conscious.
Yeah, what's your, right? That's your subconscious. What's in whatever my perception, my consciousness has been shaped by my subconscious.
Isn't it kind of crazy we're affiliated with subconscious jujitsu?
I know. Like the universe doesn't make mistakes.
Shout out.
Hey, appreciate it, subconscious. So we're on the path we're supposed to be on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now I've been thinking about the subconscious lately because I've been having memories, like old past memories pop up in my head randomly, and then I've been having old dreams pop up in my head randomly. And I've been thinking like, yeah, like I'm having like almost like they're different memories, but the way that they're coming to me is similar. So I'm like, oh, what
Write the
makes these
theme
two things
down.
different?
Write the theme down and then go into some dream interpretation.
Hmm.
Get your
Yeah.
symbols. See what that means.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. Do you do that? Do you?
Yeah,
And
I'll do that. I won't like interpret dreams. I'll more so like pull um what's this like this the symbolism
mm-hmm.
for certain things.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think it's interesting, like what is my brain thinking about underneath it all when I'm not thinking.
Yep, exactly. But
Yeah, I don't
damn.
know.
So we hit y'all heavy with the consciousness today. So our request for our listeners is to take some time, reflect on what we have talked about, what we brought up for topic of the week, and then talk today. And do a deep dive of self. Where are you at? Where's your perception with things? What's your subjective meaning, value when it comes to certain specific things? Is that helpful or is it hindering you? Um, are we championing this to progress towards achievement, or is this something that continues to bring more challenges than necessary? And challenges are not necessarily inherently bad. We need challenges to transition and evolve, but challenges that perpetuate and enable stagnation is not where we want to be.
Mm-hmm. Start your manifesting. 369.
That's right. Get it in. Yes. So before I hit us with a quote, anything else to say on those?
I'll be thinking about it.
That's a slow burn for you right now. Yeah. All
All
right. Well,
right.
here's our quote. It's a longer one today. So we have, it is paradoxical yet true to say that the more we know, the more ignorant we become in the absolute sense, for it is only through enlightenment that we become conscious of our limitations. Precisely, one of the most gratifying results of intellectual evolution is the continuous opening up of new and greater prospects. Nikola Tesla.
It's a long one.
I was. So, I mean, yeah, Tesla, not the V, but Tesla.
Mm.
Philosopher. I'm gonna hit you that, obviously. The double dose. That was a longer one. So to repeat, quote, it is paradoxical yet true to say that the more we know, the more ignorant we become in the absolute sense, for it is only through enlightenment that we become conscious of our limitations. Precisely, one of the most gratifying results of intellectual evolution is the continuous opening up of new and greater prospects. End quote. Tesla.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Life's full of contradictions, y'all. It is what it is. There's no black and white. See, there's a lot of shades of gray. Hold self accountable. Know what your free will is. Understand how your perception might be shifting your free will. Hold self accountable, but also validate.
Damn, Deja.
On one.
I like it.
Yeah. So that's the message today. Feed your head.
I will be. I will be feeding my head after this.
Mm-hmm. So, do you have anything else to add as we wrap up this very special episode 20?
Dude, you just got me thinking. I'm like two in my head now.
We love to hear it.
Yeah, I got nothing.
All right. That's okay. We want the, like I said, slow burn. Let that ponder on it. And I know you and I are going to be talking about it
tomorrow.
Yeah. All you listeners out there, ponder, do some thinking as well. We appreciate you as always. Happy December. Very special episode 20, heavy on the consciousness. This is Chokes in Consciousness yet again. This is Deja.
This is Michaela.
We will catch y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.